Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you're listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. It is March 28, 2023, Tuesday. I'm late. I actually meant to make this episode yesterday because of what happened. But as a Christian, Christ believing people, that's what I say all the time. We need to speak about things like this, and a lot of the times I'm gonna say this again, and it could be, God just wants me to say this so that you can make yourself aware. A lot of the times you can't just be thinking, oh well, I'm safe, I don't really care what happens in the world. This is happening, and just because you can't just be like, oh, I'm safe, I'm just gonna wait for Christ's return and not ignore every news out there, don't pray for anybody, just make myself just within the church walls and with the people, friends and family, just take care of that and just ignore everything that's happening in the world. Let us not forget Jesus came to save the world, right? And he didn't came for just your family, he came for everybody. So we need to speak about when something like this happens. We need to be the light in the world. We need to pray for people. We need to get united, pray, donate, whatever way we can help if we're not immediately out there where the place where it happened. So by now I'm sure everybody has heard about the Nashville shooting, right? That happened yesterday. Another school shooting happening here in the US. So let me just read to you guys a little bit in case you haven't heard or you haven't had the time to get details about the shooting that happened yesterday in Nashville. Authorities on Tuesday released graphic body camera footage showing the fatal confrontation between police and armed assailant who attacked a grade school on Monday morning. 6 people, okay, listen to this, 6 people, including 3 children, were killed in the shooting, and the suspect attacker was killed by police within minutes of the first call of the active shooter. It is some of the videos that I saw on Twitter. It's terrifying to see that you see a private school, a Christian school, normal school, right? With clothes are locked, people are in class, the kids are inside their classroom in session, and here comes this attacker starting shooting, right? Of course, they're gonna attack schools, they got innocent victims, right? They're gonna do it, right? Before, Palm Sunday, we're getting ready for Resurrection Sunday. They're gonna go to a Christian school, regardless of what religion, what denomination, I guess you can say, is still a really evil act, and we should be speaking about it. We should be praying for people. Okay, so the shooting continues here. And the shooter, Audrey Hell, whom police identify as the shooter, had bought 7 firearms. A woman, I don't know how old she was, a young lady, um, was identified as the shooter. Again, her name is Audrey Hell. Bought to the school, she actually bought 7 firearms, including 3 guns, used in the attacks. She looked like a pro. I'm not trying to give her props, nothing like that. But she looks like this is not her first thing. It looks like this girl has been practicing for a while. The way she was coming at that school, shooting, and just careless, right? I think people who have that mentality, they have to be, of course, is the enemy behind all of that, right? So it says here that three guns using the attack legally and had been in treatment for emotional disorder. So this lady was allowed, this young girl was allowed to buy guns even though she has been seeing a therapist and has been treated for emotional disorders. I think that we need to put this aside because maybe in the past I thought about this also. Stop, people will always say, especially in the Christian community, they say, stop just trying to take away our guns. Listen, if you have people who are being treated right now for any type of mental disorder, for their own safety and the safety of others, they should be checking stuff like that. And you know it's gonna create like a HIPAA thing also, because people don't want to, if they're trying to buy something, they don't want to give medical medical like information. But just like when people buy liquor, I guess you can say, or you can buy certain types of things, you still have to show it, like, they ask for your date of birth. I don't really know because I don't buy that, right? But they ask, I've seen people ask like their driver's license and things like that. So maybe it's a time where they have to create some type of restrictions when it comes to that. There's a lot of people right now who are seeking, mental health. I think is in a all after this whole pandemic. People have gone through a lot of stuff, including myself. I'm not saying just, people out there, because everybody thinks that people who need therapists are just crazy people. There's a lot of stuff happening. We have gone from pandemic to being in quarantine, to people losing their jobs, losing their home, not being able to pay their rent, their mortgage, whatever, you know, having so many crazy things going on, and a lot of people getting sick and all of that, especially the past 2 years, a lot of people dying. So yeah, it's, life is hard, and people, they're going through a lot right now. So, and it's just not, you speak with people, it's not just one family, one person, it's a lot of people, right? So, I mean, take a look at the crimes that are being committed these days. Like, it's insane to when you hear the stories and things like that. Like, they look like the perfect family, and then craziness happen, right? So I think it's time that we need to look at things for what they are, right? The reality of things, and this is happening quite often, over and over again. They're terrorizing our kids. I don't have any kids, but I'm speaking in general terms here. They're terrorizing the kids. People are gonna get scared to send their kids to school, and people will always say, well, they're just trying to take our rights away. Listen, look at things for what they are. Okay, it's time for us to just look at the evidence and see things for what they are. This needs to stop. I think that more background check needs to be done before they sell guns to people. It can, people do, like I said, people do pretend to be something that they're not. And but when you have another layer, I guess you can say what I'm getting at, another layer of security, maybe will make it better, right? And I understand that people, there's a saying that goes out there, guns don't kill people, people do, or something like that. I understand that, but it's the same thing with cars, right? When people are drunk driving, right? They take their license away, right? They do something. So something more to another layer needs to be done for people who go out there and buy guns. She had bought 7 guns, and firearms, I guess you can say, and she used 3 of those guns to go and started shooting, and eventually killed 6 people at the school yesterday. This is crazy. Okay, and this is not, we get these stories over and over. Like, if guys, I do like a lot of breaking news here on the YouTube channel. Imagine me doing breaking news about a school shooting. Like, it will be video after another video. Like, it happens too often, and we cannot be. It's almost like it's not like we're getting used to it. We're like, oh, here we go, another school, like whatever. Like I'm not saying that. It's just becoming too common that we cannot just ignore it and be like, oh, here, there's another one. you know Something needs to be done. Okay, so I totally understand a lot of the some of the people who are just like, we need some type of new reform, new legislation, or something like that, some type of new law, right? It's just sad because at the end of the day, the family affected by this, the kids who are going through this trauma right now, because we know that a lot of the times when people go through something like this, you don't see the effect right away. It takes years sometimes to see it on somebody, and it's so sad, right? So it says here that the shooting occurred at the Covenant School, a private elementary school on the grounds of the Covenant Presbyterian Church in Nashville, Greens Hill neighborhood. It says here, our community is heartbroken. The school said in a statement, we are grieving tremendous loss and are in shock out of the terror that shattered our school and church. The massacre drew messages of sympathy from politicians, including the President Biden, who across the U.S. Um, they, they always talk about Congress making new laws about it. Body camera footage, says here, shows officers arriving at the school, grabbing his weapon from his back vehicle and encountering the woman who appears to be a staff member. She tells me the kids are all locked down, but we have two kids that we don't know where they are. She also described the layout of the school and said children are upstairs. Just thinking about that, the police is getting to the school and they're being told, what's going on, where the children are, and all of that. And I remember that other school in Texas where they didn't really do that much, right? So it's just so crazy. And that shooting in Texas happened not too long ago. So, you know, they already have the victims' names here. On Monday afternoon, police identified the three students and three staff members who were killed. So here are the names, guys. Pray for this family today, and pray for this nation. The name Evelyn Dickehus, age 9, was a third grader. Hallie Scruggs, age 9. William Kinney, age 9. Cynthia Peak, age 61, was a substitute teacher. Catherine Kuhn, age 60, she was the head of the Covenant School, and Mike Hill, age 61, was the janitor of the school. Pray for each of them tonight, everybody, and keep their families in your prayers. I understand sometimes we get so caught up with tradition. Easter is coming, so many things going on, and we have to sometimes take a pause, right, and pray for people who are in need right now. The show, yeah, people say, we have production going on, we have things getting ready for Easter, all of that, and that's all fine, right? That's all fine, but take a moment, pause, and pray for this family. Like I said, this, we are called to pray, right, and love one another. So this happened, and there are people right now who their life were impacted tremendously, unexpected, right? That's what I always say all the time. Life is so unpredictable, we just never know what can happen, right? So the whole message of this podcast, this video, is get right with God, guys. If I gave you a vision that God gave me a couple days ago about the sword in the clouds, it's time to get right with God, okay? Life is so unpredictable. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this video or listening on the podcast. Have a good night, everybody. God bless.